All right, good morning, good morning, good morning. This is YieldMax Mindset bringing you I believe it's week 34 portfolio review. It is very late. This may be the latest that I've actually did a video going into Monday. It is now 2:21 Central Standard Time and 3:21 Eastern Standard Time right now. I'm a little bit out of sorts because a comment that someone left on in the Q&A section of they made a comment on a video, and it blindsided me a little bit, but it's got me pondering. It's got me just all out of sorts because I didn't think about it last week, and he mentioned it, and now I am trying to figure out what to do because they got earnings coming up May the 5th, and I have buying power of 32K, and the maintenance requirement is only 25%, and the earnings is May the 5th. And indication and how they've gone, the earnings could be good. I wish they had called it last week when they did their dividend payout. I would have bought on the EX date because I think it was $59. Now it's maybe $63. Well, let me get this video out. He's got me brainstorming, trying to figure out what to do. All right, let's get our financial quote. We'll do our financial quote. We'll do our Robinhood portfolio review. We'll do our Excel spreadsheet. I've added some things to it. We may hit the YieldMax website. It's not really on our itinerary, but it may pop up. Snowball analysis, and then we will conclude with our Q&A section, and we'll come across this gentleman's comment that's got me all out of sorts. I was about to place an order in the queue, but I'm gonna wait till after this video because it's gonna be late by the time I get to bed, and the market will be up. Anyway, let's get to this video. All right, here we go. I believe it's Randy Theo. He says, replace spin with invest in your vocabulary and notice how it impacts your everyday decision. Replace spin with invest in your vocabulary and notice how it impacts your everyday decisions. So Theo reminds of this quote that small changes can have big impact. It's amazing how just one word can make a huge difference in how we look at something. In this case, a potential purchase. Using the word invest instead of spend helps us be more mindful every time we look to make a purchase. When I use this tool, I see my purchase as investment in myself, my goals, my future, and those I care about. I don't want to only make a poor investment. Do you? He asked. If it doesn't align with our why, see quote 4, in the long run, it will likely be a not so great use of our energy, time, and resources. All right. So I agree with that. I won't go up to quote 4, but yeah, replacing words, just positivity and making you conscious of what it is you're doing. All right, let's get to our Robinhood portfolio. All right. As you can see, we currently stand at $44,661. Live, we're up $56. For the day, we're up $225. For the week, we're up $9,178. For the month, we're up $2,548. For the 3 months, we're down $3,864. Year to date, we're down $12,776. For the past year, we're up $9,954. And all time, we're up $2,576. What a difference 2 weeks make. Oh, so look at there, 34. That was just almost what, the 21st. I mean, let's see here. Yeah, the 21st was last Monday, was at 34,000, and now we're at 44,000. So that's a 10K jump in a matter of a week. Let's go back here. April the 8th, which was about 3 weeks ago, almost 3 weeks ago, we was at 23,000, down 40, almost 45%. So what a difference 2 weeks, 3 weeks has made. All right, we all know why, the tariffs, and there's been some positive talking, so the market likes it and it responded, which is good. I'm not complaining. All right, so let's check out this. All right, our buying power. We currently have margin available. Well, not available, but total margin available. I guess it would be available. $68,273. We have used 35,882, and we have buying power of 3231 for 18%. Buffer is at 7,943. All right. All right. Next, we're going to hit our main positions, which is going to be Coney and Misty, and then we'll hit our dividend position that we got paid out this past week. So Coney closed at 832. Our market value has increased to $50,519. We're down 28,811. We still have 6,072 shares. Our average cost is still at 1306. And you can see this is 62.7% of our portfolio. And for those that might be curious, Coney last paid us out for 6,072 shares, 43.81, $2,660. All right. Misty, as we can see, was down here, and in a week's time, it's made a recovery. Well, actually, it had dropped down here to 17. I thought it had actually hit 16, but I might be mistaken. But anyway, we're at 23.58. You can see our market value is at 17,712. We're down over $2,600. Average cost is $27.12. I do not purchase. I had it around 23, got it down to 25. Got margin call. They sold off 200 shares, and I sold 39, I believe. And my average cost is at 27.12 for 751 shares. And because of this margin, this maintenance ratio, used to be called margin requirement, at 70%, I won't be making any purchase unless the only time I would, at this rate, it would probably be the dividends. I would reinvest it. But I could do that at 23 and help bring it down a little bit. But with this maintenance ratio at 70%, I'll stay away from it. Now, the downside of this is with Misty coming down to like this, and your margin account, right? I didn't have any available margin to purchase. So that's one of the downsides of having a margin account. So that is one reason why I'm sitting here and I'm like, man, these things are down near 52-week lows or even lower, and I can't buy any, and I can't take advantage of this huge discount. So I've come across, what was it? We'll talk about that in my Excel spreadsheet, but I did come across some money, extra money, and I did some things to get some extra money on my paycheck. And so I'm going to deposit this money into my Charles Swap. Well, I already have, but hopefully when the market opens tomorrow or today, Monday, if you're watching this, I'll be able to make some cash account purchases where I don't have to, it doesn't really, this doesn't matter in a cash only account. This margin doesn't matter. I can buy with cash and it doesn't matter the price. So I'm going to do that in my Charles Swap account. I have sheet here. I was planning on buying PLTY, Morrow, Coney, Misty, SMCY, Yeet, Around Hill, and Carvana. I'm not sure how we're calling the YieldMax version, CVNY. So it was about 7 positions that I was interested in getting. And I was going to have maybe about initially starting out with about $1,800, and then I had some more money that I'm waiting to get refunds. And I was going to use that money to start a cash position in my Charles Schwab. And of course, that would be going towards my monthly bills as well. All right. So let's hit let's see here, our dividend position that's got paid out. I got it pulled up here. All right. So last week we had YieldMax. We had 50 shares. We got $6.84. And we had OT, 400 shares for $33.44. All right, so we're checking here's OT. It's now at 593. And let's see, when was that? It was on our pay. Look, it was at 563. So it has gone up. And YieldMax was at 1263. And let's see, where is it? 1325. So we see some increase in these positions as the market is making some small recovery. All right, so with OT, we got 2372 as a market value. We're down 1275. Average cost is 912 for 400 shares. That still remains the same. And just to confirm what I stated, here we are here. 400 shares at 0.0836, 33.44. YieldMax, like I said, 1325. Market value is at 662. We're down 116 for an average cost of 15.59 for 50 shares. Buying power is at 26K. That right there is at 30%. All right, just to confirm what I stated. All right, so 50 shares at 1367 give us 684. All right. So this is what we're going to be talking about. Palantir. Look at here. 6 days left. Palantir earnings call Q&A. 438 questions have been queued. And here's the YieldMax version of this. 63.29. Last week, I believe when I showed you all the video, it was around $59. So that's been almost a $4 increase just in the past 2 days or 3 days. Look at there, $200 in the queue. We're thinking about it, people. We're thinking about it. All right. Oh, let's go to our Excel spreadsheet. Almost forgot about that. All right. All right. All right. So our active income, you can see our active income is 551160. And the reason why you see an increase because it should be similar to these two for February and March, but you can see it has a nice increase. This one was increased because we had 3 checks in that month, and generally we only have 2. All right, so we still only have 2 in the month of April, but I actually supposed to have been taken off last week for vacation, but I needed the money because I wanted to get a cash account going, and I needed some bills and everything. The timing were just crunch. So I did a PTO payout of about 60 hours. And so that's why this is an increase here of 5511. All right. So, and you can see here that my actual active income, which is income from my job, is actually greater this month than my passive income. All right. So you can see last week was at 45.97.54. And with OT and YieldMax, that bumped that up to 4637.82. Total active income for the year is 18,609. You can see my ties paid. Well, that ain't even totally paid because I just got that, so I ain't had a chance to pay the ties out of this, but this is what it will be, 10% of that. All right, my passive income, you can see total for the year is $24,354.91. So that's a combined income of $42,964. All right, my average active income is ranging around $4,600, and my passive income is averaging just over $6,000. All right, and so this here, for those that may be seeing this video for the first time, this is my debt. This is all my debt other than utilities and cable and cell phone, right? This is everything else other than gas and food. Well, gas and food is included in it. But anyway, this is credit card, HELOC, personal line of credit, and some loans. And all right, so Robinhood goes currently at $20. Our interest paid on this margin here that's been borrowed has been as high as $53,000, maybe $55,000 in the past 4 months. Interest accrued is $883.47, averaging $220.87 over past 4 months, which is not bad. And that interest rate is at 5.75% versus this that is killing me. All right, so my 401k loan has been reduced to $23,847. And my total debt stands at $2,000. He wish. $143,523. All right, so here's some fees that I accrued. And here is the interest year to date that has been accrued on these accounts at these interest rates. $9,161 for an average of almost $2,300 a month. People, that is crazy. Crazy. And that's because I got greedy and I exhausted all my available assets to get my hand on money, no matter what it was. And I'm paying for it now because I didn't anticipate it being this long. I thought I would have some of it paid, but nevertheless, this is a scheme that will come up to get this paid using dividends and my active income. All right, so all we need is to get a break and pay off one of these or one of these, and it will start to melt, go away like butter, perhaps. Or are we just dreaming? But anyway, I believe we can do it. If we can stay focused, if I can, volunteers is scratching, is tempting. I'm trying to pay down this margin, but I'm tempted to spend 12 or 15K, and that's going to put me, but we're going to see. This Palantir could be a nice move. If the earnings are good and I make this purchase, you know, I could see a little profit and then be able to sell that off and bring down my margin even more so. We'll see. I believe in the book of Proverbs, it says, acknowledge the Lord and he shall direct thy path. So Lord, you hear me? I'm asking you to direct my path. All right. So you can see the 1st of April, that's where our debt stands. And this is where it currently is at the end of almost April, about ready to go into May. So we will see. It's likely I'm going to make a purchase tomorrow. We'll see. All right, so our Robinhood account, year to date, in February, we deposit $600. January, $600. In February, just over $1,000. And then February, we withdrew $27.48 to help out a family member. And it turned out that wasn't too good because that money is gone. It's not coming back. All right, so Coney, you know, I added this. This wasn't here previously. And I've added this. I think I had the headings there, but never had anything. I said, oh, let me go ahead and put something. So what this is Coney total pay since I've been investing in Coney with Robinhood. And that includes the Charles Schwab before I transfer it over into the Robinhood account. And these were the amounts I had for February and January. And then I went back and added the Charles Schwab dividend payout, and it brought it to these amounts. Yeah. All right. So, my mouse has stopped. Come on now. You kidding me? See if we can get some juice here. Oh no. All right. We'll use this right here. Hold on one second. I was not successful in killing that spider. It got away from me. All right. All right. So you can see here. So I'm actually merging two videos here. Hope this works. Portfolio performance against the S&P 500. As you can see how we done year to date. Down 11K. You can see here month by month against the S&P 500. January was positive. February was very negative. March was negative, and we made some recovery so far in April. As you can see here, the heat map is showing a loss, dividends received, MIST is in the green, SMCY is in the green, and YB is in the green. Let's see here, view more details. All right, so what is this? Holding performance year to date, total profit for MISTI, SMCY, and YBIT. Dividends received. There's Coney showing 14 there. I got 15 in other places. All right. Moving right along. Excuse me. All right. So deposits and withdrawal. 2023, we deposited $3,600, withdrew $2,500. And let's see here, because we didn't start this really portfolio until, because this is probably for my Dogecoin. Oh, this is probably for my Doge, but I didn't deposit no 79,000 to this account. I never had that in here. This is where it probably really started. I'm not sure what that 2021 is. And I nibbled some more, and then I got serious about investing here with my ETFs. All right. So I deposit 30,000. Basically, it's saying I think I already had 5. I know I deposit 26,800, and it said I withdrew 61, and I guess I had another 5 added it somewhere along with 2024. All right. So this year it's saying I've deposited $13,982. I have not deposited $13,982, but I have withdrew $27.46. I can't remember what that 13 is consistent of. It won't let me click on it. So that may be me selling. I'm not sure what that is. 13,000 deposited. I have not deposited $13,000. Not sure, people. All right, moving right along. Let's get to this Q&A so I can get some sleep. All right, first up, here. All right, 2008 says, why was my text deleted? I did delete a text. I don't know if it was his, but I told him, I said, I'm sorry. I might have mistaken it for a bot. My bad. I said, ask it again. And basically, sometimes they be asking they'll start off with something with they make a little comment, and then they'll talk about their seed phrase and all that stuff. So when I see those, I hide them, and I evidently somehow mistaken your comment for that, because that's the only reason I would delete someone's comment. I've never deleted any of anyone's comment that have posted in this my channel, other than those bots. All right, Gary says, love the chart, 10,000 shares one day in a far future. I said, you and me both. Now, I do plan to get there. I do plan to get me 10,000 shares. And Coney Lock is going to be the closest. Maybe, I don't know if it's going to be the first, but that is my goal with every position that I ultimately get, is to get to 10,000 shares. Because ultimately, I don't know if you're listening, but if you can manage somehow to muster up or save or HELOC or loan, I'm not telling you to do this. This is not financial advice. But if you get anywhere from $100,000 to $150,000 invested in one of these positions as a very on the high yield side, you're literally looking at anywhere from 8 to 12K a month in dividends. So yeah, I'm going to try and get 10,000 shares eventually. Blue Rivers says, great video. Love your spreadsheet presentation. I have a bunch of YieldMax funds. Keep maxing it out, brother. I said, thanks, will do. Back at ya. Love your life. 1970 says, question, brother. Where do you get your projected payment information from? Yours seem to be more accurate than what shows on Snowball. And so I says, you go to the actual website of the hedge fund like YieldMax and Roundhill and enter your email address to receive the distributions announcement. YieldMax select contacts and enter your information. Roundhill, select about us at the top and scroll to the bottom of the page and enter your information. And I will show you right now. So in YieldMax, let's go to the top here. You go to contacts. You enter your email, name, and it tells you here, by submitting this form, you are consenting to receiving emails from YieldMax ETF and YieldMax Euro. You can revoke by soliciting the unsubscribe link. But yeah, so if you put in your email address, your name, and on Wednesday mornings usually it runs punctual at 6:55 Central Standard Time and 6:55 Eastern Standard Time, you will get your email telling you what the distribution amount is. And if you go to the X Twitter, follow YieldMax there, they will post them there. Those fall a little bit later, maybe 30 minutes to an hour later than the actual email, but the email is general punctual. All right, for Roundhill, let's see here. Let me go get to the. Let's back up here so I can show you. All right, so if you're here on Roundhill's website, if you click here where it says about, right, and scroll all the way to the bottom, well, that popped up. It may pop up, right? So you're going to do the same thing. You can put your email, your name. You don't even probably have to put your name, but you do have to there. See the little red? You do have to put your email address, or you can scroll all the way to the bottom here. Put your email and name and hit submit. And you will also get Roundhill. Roundhill runs a little bit later than the YieldMax email, but it will send this to your email account. That's how I get those two. On Curves, I haven't been able to, I've called myself signing up, but I haven't been able to get an email notification. So I generally get that from their Twitter account. And some of the other ones, I think I may have signed up, but I have to check them because I don't have them showing up in my email account. All right. Brent C70 says, thanks for the info, Sarah. Collected $2,400 in dividends with YieldMax for April. Takes care of all the outlays and have a few $100s left over. Financial freedom loading. So I said, wow, that's very good weekly payout for about $600. You're doing very good, I might add. Financial freedom will be achieved by you, sir. God bless you. When YieldMax gets back to around $20, you're going to be killing it. So yeah, that's very good. That's very good. So I estimate, well, I may have been somebody else's comment, but yeah, that's very good for $600 a week. I believe he said 24 for the month. So I think that's about $600. So that's pretty good. That's pretty good. All right, next up. All right, Chris Morgan says, how are you doing, Sarah? Can you clarify what you mean by active income? So what he's talking about is this here. Active income, passive income. My active income is what I get from my employer, my job, and my passive income is what I get from investing. That's the income from my paycheck earned at work. Gary says, I love your videos. My brother, keep them coming. I appreciate you. I said, thank you, Gary, for the support. Just you stopping by and dropping your comment. I am thankful. 2008, said Lemmy. 2008, oh, Lima. I'm sorry if I'm butchering your name. 2008 says, I like your videos. Greeting from Europe. I said, wow. Hey there, my friend across the pond. Thanks for watching. That's amazing that my videos has reached you all the way in Europe. Just wow. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned. I really do mean that. I mean, it's amazing that this video is reaching someone that far away. I really appreciate that. That's fascinating. S. Brown says, thanks, bro. I said, you bet. Thanks for watching. Hope you find something useful while viewing this channel. Love Your Life, 1970. He says, was your Misty payout the same it was predicted to be on Snowball analysis? My actual payment on Robinhood was half of what Snowball showed. Not sure if it was just mine or did Robinhood take a cut. By the way, sound is perfect now. I hope it's still perfect for this video. I hope I didn't regress. I says, I'm checking that now. And when I was writing this, which was about 2 hours ago, and Robinhood and Snowball announced both showed the exact amount of $1,335.60. I said, now, before you actually get the dividend payout, I believe Snowball analysis based the next payment on the last dividend from the previous month. So basically, they don't know what the next dividend is going to be until it's actually announced. So what they do is they use the previous month's dividend as an estimate for what the current month is going to show. And so you have to take it with a grain of salt. And that's sort of how they give you the estimates in the whole yearly outlook is they based it on previous dividend payout. So I said until you actually get paid and Snowball analysis update that information, then it should be accurate in my opinion. I really appreciate your feedback to the audio issue. I kept wondering why the volume had went low when watching it back on my TV the next day. So basically once I post a video, right, I go to sleep, I get up. Next morning, I check the market and then I'll go to my TV and watch the video. But I've been turning my volume up to 45 to 50 to hear it. And I didn't understand why. I just thought it was strange. All of a sudden my videos were doing it. I didn't know it was actually something that I was doing. I thought maybe it was something wrong with the upload or something. It turns out it was me. So I definitely appreciate you, Love Your Life, for bringing that issue to my attention and speaking out on it. And I was able to, I believe, rectify it. All right, my good friend here said 1695 says, good morning. I said, how's your investing going? He said, I'm hoping the market recovers soon. I asked him, are you DC averaging down to take advantage of some of the discounts or just waiting for the recovery altogether? All right. I believe that takes care of all of those videos. This should have been, nothing new there. Those are old comments. All right. So I think we're up to date on the comments. They hit the shorts. All right. All right. So this is my more recent short. Wolf Bandit says you should get Palantir. And this is the guy who messed me up. When I saw this, and the first time I saw it pop up, and I said, okay, that's right. Missed Palantir is doing good, And then, of course, he listed the payments, and which I'm aware of. Excuse me, but when I went to pull it up in Robinhood, because I knew my maintenance requirement was high, and when I looked at Palantir or what we call it, PLTY, it was 25%. I got 32K out there, and I'm like, oh my goodness, 25% PLTY. They got earnings come May the 5th. Earnings may be pretty good. There's a good chance the earnings are going to be good. One, of course, I would have loved to have gotten this information or have came across it. I can't believe I didn't think about this. But anyway, I saw, because, I did the video, the PowerPoint of it being $59 and some change. And I knew that when it paid out on Thursday, it would drop. And it did, if I'm not mistaken. I think it dropped down to $55, right? And now it's back up to $63. Had I known, you see what I'm saying? That would have been some profit, right? Earnings coming up, it could push it up even further. Why do you say that? It's because if I had got it at 55, 54, right? If I had some buying power, which I'm sure I did at that time, and it's at 63 now, it runs up to maybe $75 to 80 with the earnings. I could have sold that, paid off a lot of my margin, and probably would have stayed with the dividends knowing me instead of selling off. But anyway, I replied, man, Palantir is making Misty the little brother. It's killing it. I said, oh man, I just realized that PLTY maintenance ratio is only 25%. Man, you turning my world upside down. Oh my God. This is very tempting, but I'm trying to pay down my margin. Plus, Palantir has earned it in 6 days. Man, I wish I had noticed this last week. Man, I got to think about this one. I was going to buy some this week in my cash only account in Charles Schwab. But you have me pondering now. Do I have the guts to make a move in this market with the tariffs situation? Shaking my head. So I've got to make a decision. I don't got to, but I think I want to. All right. So this is my snowball analysis short video. Curtis Washington said, I like Robinhood overall. It works for me. And I said, yes, I'm loving the margin option with Robinhood and the gold membership, plus the new features coming with Robinhood banking. Do I have it pulled up? Robinhood banking. Do I have it pulled up? All right. So some of you probably already aware of this Robinhood banking that's coming. These new features are going to come. Estate planning, 4% savings, professional tax advice, some other things. You can get money delivered directly to your house. Just some new features with Robinhood coming this fall that I think I'm going to like and be very interested in. I said, yes, I'm loving the margin option in the gold membership plus the new features with Robinhood banking. I think the issue most had or have was Robinhood taking the buy button away during the GME and AMC short squeeze. I can see why people were hot about that. We're talking about making thousands and millions of dollars that you can't execute or trade to buy or sell. See the movie Dumb Money. I watched it, and it's a reference to the events that took place with JMC and what's the guy's name? Deep Value something and Roaring Kitty. That's his name, Roaring Kitty. So they actually made a movie about this. So if you haven't watched it and you're interested, check it out. It'll give some insight to that. All right, Kevin said, what app is that? And he's referring to this start clip that I did, and it's snowballanalysis.com. All right, Eric said, like your channel, but you're using the corrupt Robinhood that took away the buy button doing GME short squeeze is wrong. Robinhood is trash. Of course, this is an old comment. No, it ain't. It says 9 days ago. What was that? He said Robinhood's trash. I said, yep, I agree. Don't tell me my mouse is quitting again. Oh, this is crazy. Hold on, people. I'm sorry. All right, I'm back. Where was I at? I said, yeah, I agree. And remember I remember investors talking about that. I myself do own GME and AMC shares. He said, I'm jealous of your dividends, though, and I'm not hating. I appreciate your channel. And I get it. I said, oh, I get what you're saying, man. That's jealous in a good way. Plus, I have a small amount comparison to others that I have seen and heard about. I've seen some position in the community of snowballanalysis.com, and they are crazy numbers. Make my account seem like I just started yesterday. Thank you for watching my content. Stay tuned. Buy Asset says, I'm loving the content. I really do appreciate y'all saying y'all love the content. Because I'm just really sharing my journey from $260,000 in debt to being debt free to potentially becoming a millionaire. And you all saying you love it. It's just me sharing my content, but you all find it, you like it, so I appreciate it. I said, that's music to my ears. What new did you pick up? He said, I picked up CHPY and LFG. I have OT, PLTY, Misty, and YieldMax. I said, okay, so you have 4 weekly pairs and 2 core positions. I do have LFG in my Weeble, but it's less than 5 shares. Basically, it's just one. I told him I'll be starting a cash only account in my Charles Schwab account in the coming weeks, hopefully before May the 1st. He says, how do you think CHPY, and this is dealing with, I believe, semiconductors. He says, I'm on the fence and I don't know anything regarding it, but I love semiconductors. Laughing out loud. Looks like maybe they had some of the underlying stocks. I'm happy with my holdings for sure and recently switched to a cash account myself. I said, laughing out loud, I probably should be asking you for information on the matter. The holdings are looking good for the most part, and there are a few I haven't heard of, but the big dogs are there, and I'll keep my eye out on it from time to time. Not very versed on all the holdings. So y'all looked at them all. Nvidia, um, uh, some of the big dogs. Let's see here. 2 weeks ago, so that's an old one, right? Yep. All right, so we'll get to our post and we'll be out of here for the night. All right, so here we are. All right, so Blue River says, yes, sir, LFGY is the GOAT. And I says, wait a minute, sir. LFGY is down 27.8% from its high. And it did pay out 41 cents, but why are you calling it quote unquote the GOAT? I said now it could be really good when crypto makes its bull run from the holdings I'm seeing. And this is a difficult name to make out. I'm gonna say Javis 3138. He says, I'm trying to get 1,000 shares of YieldMax and 1,000 shares of YMAG before the end of the year. I said that's a nice goal. That would be between $12,000 and $14,000 invested into each position. I told him, according to YieldMax.com, at least week payout and pricing on I should have been saying on the last last week's payout and pricing that she's got there. So check out the YieldMax.com website. Marie says, keep grinding. I said, I must keep grinding. I smell financial freedom and generational wealth in the air. Smell it? Y'all smell it? Financial freedom. Even if I don't get the generational wealth, be able to get this debt off me, it's going to be a huge weight off me. I'll be able to have a lot more financial freedom to do in life. It's just different. All right. Maurice also says PLTY been kicking butt. And I said, yes, I commented on an earlier post. Either you or somebody mentioned this. I said, it's got me all messed up. Since I see I can get around 32K in buying power on 25% margin, which I noticed this last week. All right. Assist Avenue says, I have money. Should I change it to something else? Now, I do not know what's going to happen with Murney. I mean, when you see it, the price at 250 and it paying out the dividend, it's still solid nice. Because according to stock analysis, Murney has a dividend yield of 171% and paid $3.34 per share in the past year. So it paid out 13 cents, 18 cents, 23. And here is doing, I was thinking this was doing COVID, but no, it's not doing COVID. But anyway, I think Murney, I thought that was dealing with Madison, right? Or am I getting it wrong? Let's see. mRNA. Maybe I'm getting it. Moderna. Yeah, Moderna was a Madison. It's a biotech company, provides messengers RN medicine in the United States. Yeah, COVID. And during that time, it was up there. See that? 170K. I mean, $170, not 170K. But anyway, what was it doing? It got up to 22, and that's the highest it got. And I think they just brought this one along at the bad time. It just never worked out. But I says, I'm going to be honest. I'm not sure what's going to happen with Maroney. The price that the dividends has been nice. I'm waiting and watching to see what's going to happen with it. I know the YouTube community has expressed to Jay that we don't want a reverse split. But at what point does something have to be done if the price continues to drop? I'm not telling you to sell or buy this. I'm just in wait and see situation for the future position. And I want to see how this works out, because this could be an indication on other positions should we get crypto winner for Coney and Misty, right? I don't think that'll happen quite with Misty because of MicroStrategy, but with Coney, we could see a crypto winner. Who knows if it drops that low? What do they do? I thought it was mandatory when it got under $5 that they had to do a reverse split, but apparently that's not law. That's just something they do to get the price of the share back up. Because I used to think, yeah, okay, we'll double. Yeah, it doubles the dividends on a reverse split, that first payment, but thereafter it's back to regular payments, and you've got the number of shares cut in half. So you lose a lot of value in your dividend payout when that happens. All right. See what else we got here. All right, this was D-Day 3 days ago. All right. Spicy Tuna says, nothing to celebrate about it since your portfolio went down as much. Celebrate if the NAV bounced back. Only two that seem to be good. Oh, I hadn't replied to none of this. He says, nothing to celebrate about since your portfolio went down as much. Celebrate if the NAV bounces back. Only two that seem to be good so far, Misty and PLTR. Oh, He's talking about NAV erosion. My comment is this. As you notice, my Coney account is down 28,000. I primarily do not care for my sake. Now, this is other people don't share this sentiment, but I'm not too concerned with NAV erosion. I like to get my position as low as possible. Like Coney, I got it down to 1307, 1306, excuse me. I like to get it, if I could, if I had buying power, I would get my Coney probably down to maybe $11 or $10, and I would be good. Because the reason why I would be good, because when it does make a market recover, I can sell off half of my Coney. That's why I want to get to 10,000. So if I get these positions build up as low as possible, they get to 10,000, and my average cost is like $13 or $10, and it runs up to $20 or $30. Guess what? I sell half of my position off or a third of it off for profit, and then just build it back up and repeat the process while collecting dividends. That's the strategy. But hey, I understand people don't want to have 20,000 and see that the value of their account is down to 10,000. I get it. I used to be that way, but thanks to Chris Sane and being able to take the emotion out of it, and I understand that long term, if these positions holds up and they're here forever, or however long they are, like SCHD, right? Put your money in there with these high yields. You get your money back in maybe 12 to 18 months. And once you recover in dividends, the initial investment is house money after that. I don't care if it is down 10,000, 30,000, 40,000. But if I'm getting those monthly dividends and I've got my total initial investment back, it is house money. I don't care if my position is down 10K or 20K. And y'all can see my Coney got down to like 35, maybe 38,000. And what? I didn't panic, I didn't sell. I'm going to continue to hold. I'm at, is it 29,000 in dividends? I'm liking about 49,000 or something like this. Let's take a look. Yeah, 49,000. So I'm just going to continue to hold. And I will add to Coney position when I have an opportunity. But I'm probably going to try to let this catch up. As you can see, my Misty, it's already there. Of course, Misty is a different animal than Coney, right? I get it, but that's how it is with me. So, but that's how he feels, and I don't hate him for his comments. Appreciate it. Project Premium Harvest says, I got away from high income ETF. I run cover calls daily on the SPY, the SPY, and make more premium. Plus no NAV erosion. This guy said PMCC on SPY. Not sure what that is. I like his comment, and I get what he's saying. I don't know how to do cover calls, so I will stick with making dividends on high yield ETF. And like again, I'm not too big on NAV erosion. I guess I'm more in alignment with the total return guys, but to each its own. I don't hate someone if they don't want to see their initial value go down. Plus, I'm trying to pay off debt, so I need the high yield. That's just me. That's just me. All right. 3138 says getting paid twice this week. Oh yes. So what he was talking about was Group A rolled over into Group B as far as the payout. We got paid that Monday and we got paid Friday. So yes. I said, yes, sir. Yes, sir. I happened to mention that in a video dropped earlier this morning. So yes. All right, cool. Let's see if there are any more. I think that's it. I think this is the one we just looked at, right? Yep. So let's check this. See where it's at. That was 10 days ago, so that's going to be it. Excuse me. All right. Thank you all for watching this. This is week 34, I believe, portfolio review. If you like this video, drop a like. If you dislike this video, drop a like. Please comment. I love you guys commenting. I try to reply back to all your videos. I would like to reply them back on Thursdays, so you all can have time to reply and we can have a little convo going. But at the last, I reply on Sunday night. I don't like that because you guys asking questions. I would like to at least a day or two and get back to your comments if I don't reply right away. All right. So that's going to conclude this video. You all have a blessed week. Let's make this money because it's not funny. Let's go.